What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything down in the comment section and enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. Thank you guys for joining me for another week of NFL. Week 16, we are coming towards the end. And then we'll have to dominate playoffs, but the end of the regular season is coming. Let's keep smashing, man. Greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad. Smashed once again for week 15. With week 16, let's do it again, man. And NBA, we're smashing that too. So let's just keep going, man. We're hot right now. Let's keep it going. If you're new right now, I go through and I build an entire lineup. This is the first look lineup. I don't go too in depth with a whole bunch of different players. I pretty much talk about the players that I'm putting in this first look lineup just to get you guys started. It's a first gut reaction of the slate. All right. So without further ado, or however you say that, without further whatever. Okay, let's get straight into it. Starting off at quarterback, I'm actually going to go with a value guy. This is kind of feeling more of a GPP lineup, by the way. So first player that I'm liking for this slate is going to be Dwayne Haskins. Now, he's only 4'7", so that's one of the reasons. Now, secondly, he looked very solid against Philly, where he dropped 20 Draftkings points last week at home. He ended up throwing for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. We don't need much at all. Take one of those touchdowns away, and we're still happy with that at 4'7". So I think Haskins against this horrible Giants defense at home. Janoris Jenkins, their best corner, is now gone. Well, who was their best corner they had is now gone from the team. So that defense is horrible. Haskins should be able to do whatever he wants. Now, this is not an amazing quarterback. He's still a young dude trying to learn, but I think he's good enough to hit value at 4'7" against the Giants. Next up, one of the games I really want exposure to is this Dallas-Philly game because there's some fighting going on in this one. They are both battling right now, and so there will be a ton of effort on both sides. Ezekiel Elliott going against Philly at 7'9". Earlier on this year, Zeke ran 22 times for 111 yards and a touchdown while catching 6 of his 7 targets for 36 yards against Philly for 29 DraftKings points. All right, Zeke went off for 34 against the Rams last week. I expect him to keep that going here. And with Dak dealing with some issue with his hand, I would expect Zeke to probably get even more run. And I really love him to carry this offense to victory here against Philly at 7'9". Next up, I talk about this guy all the time. But Phillip Lindsay's a guy I just really love on DK because he gets a ton of passes in the pass game, and he's going against a defense that has been horrible versus the run. All right, they give it up against the run. I really love Lindsay at home in this matchup, and I expect him to bounce back after that horrible 3 performance he put in Kansas City last week. I expect him to bounce back, have 15 or more, and at 5'3", I really like him. Next up, and by the way, Lindsay has some 30-point upside he has proven over the time. So, and this is a good matchup against Detroit, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Lindsay go off. All right, next up, I'm going to go DK Metcalf. I really love Metcalf here against Arizona, mainly because Patrick Peterson has looked really, really sharp this year since he came back. And he's going to be on Tyler Lockett. He's going to be following Lockett around. He follows teams wide receiver ones. So he's going to follow Lockett around. That's going to open up Metcalf to have a big game here. Expect him to have a ton of targets. He's been super, super consistent anyway. So Metcalf is a great play here against Arizona. Seattle has one of the highest totals on the slate. And expect Metcalf to be part of the reason. All right, next up, I'm going to pair up Haskins with Terry McLaurin. I love Haskins, so obviously I have to love one of these receivers he's going to throw it to. I think McLaurin's going to have a huge game. I'm going to predict a touchdown and over 100 yards receiving against this Giants squad. There's nobody on this team who can stop him. This dude's got a ton of talent, and he just dropped a 27, got 130 receiving yards against Philly. Now he gets to go against the Giants, who just gave up over 23 to Devontae Parker, gave up over 28 to Allen Robinson week 12. This team's giving it up to receivers this year. And like I said, Janoris Jenkins, who was their best corner and he wasn't good, is gone. So now their corners in their secondary is horrible. And that's where Haskins is really going to have an easy time. Him pairing with McLaurin, I really like that duo. Next up, we got Daniel Jones coming back to be the starter for the Giants. That's good news for Golden Tate because Tate was getting some good targets when Daniel Jones was in. Going against Washington, I mean, the matchup couldn't be any better. I'm expecting about 15 here out of Golden Tate, but he's got the upside of about 25. With the amount of targets he was seeing with Daniel Jones, like around the 9-8 range on average, getting that many targets against a bad secondary like Washington, this is a great situation for Golden Tate to shine. I mean, Greg Ward just went off for 19 against Washington. So Golden Tate definitely can do a really good job here in this one. And it runs back our Washington love. So I'm expecting the Giants to be behind here in Washington and have to throw. So I really like Golden Tate. Next up, Zach Ertz, run back. I talked about loving that Dallas-Philly game because there's going to be a lot of motivation. Running back Zeke Elliott with Zach Ertz is a great way to go. I mean, they're so banged up on Philly right now. Ertz has been getting so many targets. He got 13 targets week 14, 10 targets week 15. I just really love the dude. Tyler Higbee just went off for over 26 Draftkings points against Dallas. Expect Zach Ertz to have a big weekend. Next up, we have a little revenge narrative, and you got to expect with the way this dude acted that he's going to try his hardest here. At 5'8", LeVeon Bell. Now, he's been atrocious this year, large part due to the Jets having a bad offensive line. He's not really having holes to run through. And period, he is obviously the biggest threat on this offense, and defenses are just stacking the box. But with this revenge narrative against Pittsburgh, I'm just excited to, really he's in here just because, like, look, LeVeon was talking a whole bunch of shit about Pittsburgh, okay? They do not like him. He does not like them. Expect LeVeon Bell at home here. Expect that game plan with the Jets really having nothing to play for to just feed Bell the ball and let him, dish some revenge to Pittsburgh in this one. So LeVeon at 5'8", I like him as well. And then last but not least, pairing LeVeon with the Jets D. This Pittsburgh offense has been atrocious, man. Hodges is still the quarterback for them. They're going to struggle. This game is in New York. I really love the Jets at home going against this bad Pittsburgh offense. So expect them to do very well as well. And that's it. That's the first look. Now, out of all these players, I can understand wanting to change Phillip Lindsay. I plugged him in because I landed on that 5'3" range, and all these other guys just don't feel as good to me. We will talk more about it when I do the final look on Friday. When I drop the final look video, we'll go more in depth position by position and talk more about these guys as injury news kind of comes out throughout the week and stuff like that. We'll have a lot more information to go off of. But right now, I'm just plugging Phillip Lindsay at that price because that's kind of just what I landed on. And he's a great pass-catching back in a PPR site like Draftkings at home in Denver going against a bad run D in Detroit. All right? And that's it. We got Dwayne Haskins. Trust me, I don't love having Haskins in this either. But at 4.7, I think he can hit value for sure. Ezekiel Elliott, Phillip Lindsay, DK Metcalf with Peterson following Lockett, Terry McLaurin, Golden Tate, Zach Ertz, LeVeon Bell, revenge narrative in the Jets defense. And that's it, y'all. Thank you for joining me as always. As you know, make sure you come back on Friday for the final look. We will go position by position and break down every single player we're interested in. This video just kind of talks about the first look lineup, builds the first look lineup, and talks about why I like these players. And that's it, just to get you kind of started on the slate. All right, drop that like down below. Comment anything to enter your name into that $50 giveaway that I do every week on this channel. Hit up greenlightdfs.com to join the squad for week 16. Let's get this money, man. Good luck, y'all. I'm out.